Hey Scott, here's your 4100 update. This part's all clean, in great shape. There's really no complaints with this part at all. It took me a while to get everything apart. The gas was super old and there was some corrosion. Super happy with this part. I'm having more trouble with this float bowl. I don't know if you can see in there's a lot of corrosion. There's actually a lot of this pot metal has been lost from corrosion, so it's like deeply pitted and scarred. Let's see if I can get the, you can see here the where the accelerator pump goes is pretty rough. I'm going to run a breakthrough hone through there. I'm not going to be able to remove the pitting, but polish it up the best I can. It's not going to work 100%, but it wasn't going to work at all the way it was. So actually I had to take some of this stuff apart. I didn't want to go that far, but this was stuck in here, so I had to heat it up to get it out. I tried multiple things first and finally went to heat, but then this piece goes in here and it has an end that's soldered. So of course as soon as I hit it with heat, those just came off, so I have to resolder those on the bench and then repress them back in. But this will be back together, should be back together today. I probably will blast it with something. This I'm going to resurface, but I don't know if you can tell, but there's a lot of material missing from all of this. Just the water and the corrosion just ate away a lot of the pot metal. So I'm going to resurface this before I put it back in. And then there's the float. It's not actually a float. Here's your sink. So you got a new one of those over here. This was kind of the last step, and then this will be putting this back together. I did get these tubes. Somebody went through, oh, just as a note, somebody had gone through this carburetor before, and they didn't do the best job. Like the screw head is all pretty messed up. I don't know if you can see in there, but you can see there's the rust around the screws on the butterflies. Somebody had taken those butterflies out at one point, and usually those screws are peened and the threaded part, and then you generally have to grind the peen off to get the threads out, to get the screws out. You can see someone's had that all apart. So I didn't touch those. I didn't see a reason to touch those, so I'm not going to. But I'm on the final steps of this. I think I spent like 4 hours on this yesterday, just trying to get all this stuff apart because it was so corroded. There's nothing holding this in. This just falls in there, falls out. So I could not get it out, no matter what I tried. Tried chemicals. I tried, obviously with the trying not to damage the body in any way. Finally resorted to heat, and even that took several tries. I had to heat it, try, let it cool, heat it again, and finally, I think the fourth time I heated it, it finally was able to come out. So stuff like these, there's O-rings that go in here with the metal washer. Whoever had worked on it last had overzealously peened the aluminum edges to hold the washers in. There's a washer. I'm having trouble picking it up. So put in the O-ring, and then the washer goes into here, and then you tap the edges slightly, and that's what seals this tube. And that's both here and let's see, and here. I still have, these have not been removed yet, so I have to do those too because they're not sealing at all. It's just old rubber. But we're in the final stretch. It's just been a very difficult carburetor to work with. I think this took me an hour to get out, just because it's so stuck. All it is an O-ring, except for that O-ring must not have been sealing, so the entire inside where you can't see was all old gasoline, which you couldn't really get to the gasoline to dissolve it with any sort of, carb cleaner or whatever. And even being in the hot tank several times still didn't budge. So I actually had to heat the body and then very carefully extract it. And then when I took it out, it was all, black for, more than a quarter inch of it. And it was just solidified gasoline that just did not want to let go. And it can't get to it with chemicals. So that's done. Everything's, I don't know, can't find a replacement bowl anywhere. That's why I decided to just make this one work the best I can. So hopefully it'll be, want to mail it out this week. I know you're anxious to get that car back and running. So that's it for now.